iwi o Tiatua, me taranaki tuturu hoi anō ki Ngāti Raukawa ki te tonga. Ai, e noho ana hau kei te rauorongo ko tōku papakainga, ai, ko Pounamu Skelton a nge au. So tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koe hoa. Mauri ora nau mai, hara mai tō iwi, tō maunga, tō kaupapa ki tēnei wānanga. So wonderful to have you here to share. And I'm going to use 3 words that we're going to focus into today. What I know about Pounamu, having met her through another kaupapa actually, which was about Whenua, it was about wahine. That's where we first met. But I've been able to learn more about Pounamu and what she's passionate about through our engagement through the Tahi Coaching Program. But there's 3 things that Pounamu and I will be sharing, and she'll be sharing her story, is around her journey to today, connected to Whenua, connected to Whānau, and connected to whakapapa. And so what I'd like you to start with is, how did you create the vision for where you are today? Pounamu?
Great, Pātai. So that takes me into whakapapa, I suppose. And I'm the youngest of 2 siblings. And I guess as the teina, you're always a little bit, you get away with stuff. And I was definitely, I got a adventurous spirit inside of me. And so I found myself in the beautiful mountains of Queenstown, where I really indulged in energy work. So Reiki, miri miri, that was my thing, and snowboarding. So I liked being up high in the maunga. And then when I was meditating, doing some meditation in the maunga, there was a really strong vision that came. And it had a patu, was the tohu, and then it had this other sort of kōrero, I think, which was go home to your people. Your people need you. I'm like, oh, wow, I wonder where that is. So I literally got in my car, packed up, and came north. Came to Pōneke, where my sister lived. Nah, this isn't it. She rings up to Taranaki Maunga and lets them know kind of what I do. I did a lot of midi body work. And they said, oh, the rongoa group's about to go up Maunga Taranaki. Tell her she should come and join us. And so that was it. I came home. Coming home was, after growing up, not at home, but visiting, was like being in a washing machine, getting chucked, kind of stirred around, going, what on earth is going on here? Because I wasn't vibrating kind of at the same, I don't know, way of our kainga. And what was interesting was that landing back at home brought up a whole lot of new questions about what is it I really, truly desire.
Wow. Can you just give us a time frame? So when did that happen?
Yeah, that's 27 years ago. So I've been I've been home that long now. Yeah, so lots of things have happened along the way. But actually what I carried with me was this really strong vision that I wanted to live really close to my tupuna whenua, and I wanted to be able to be organic, as in food growing, and I wanted to be quite sovereign, as in we could feed ourselves. Yeah, that vision held for it's been about 24 years in the making, quite a long manifestation. But it was very much in here in the third eye space of just a desire, I'd seen it. I hadn't seen our people do it, but I'd sort of seen other people do it. I didn't really know how. I didn't worry about the how, but I just held it here. That's what my heart desired.
So there's a couple of things in your kōrero, Pounamu, I'd just like to maybe double click on.
Okay.
One of them is, did you say skiing or snowboarding?
Snowboarding.
Snowboarding and meditation. I'm like, okay. So you've got an adventurous spirit, is what I take from that. Yeah,
definitely.
The other thing that I'm really interested in is how do you hold a vision like the one that you had back then 27 years ago? How do you hold that vision and not get distracted by all the things that go on in the world?
Oh, I think I fully got distracted. That's probably why it took so long.
Bye-bye.
No, 24 years is a long time to manifest it.
Mm,
But it never went away. It was still the appetite.
mm,
The appetite was still there. Very long desire I wanted to go back onto our family land, but it had been sold. And so I thought, oh, maybe I could just rent next door. It was this real longing to return to Tupuna Whenua.
mm,
And what we've ended up doing would be less than a kilometre away. Like, honestly, the power of a vision and a desire that never went away has landed up that we've now able to live. And I've brought it with my parents, this piece of beautiful whenua, way bigger than I even could anticipate. And it's like literally less than a kilometre away from where the vision first, where I wanted to go. So I'm in the rohi, I'm back in the hapu space. And there's a feeling of tangata whenua where you can put your feet firmly on the whenua, stand tall in your tūranga waiwai.
mm.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
and
beautiful,
I love that. I love that so much.
beautiful. Kia ora,
Yeah.
Pamela. Welcome to our kōrero. If you want to just go off camera, and then we're going to bring everyone back after for some pārtai. Ka pai? Ka pai. So here we are. You've returned to your whenua, but I'd really like you to talk to some of the things that distracted you from realizing your vision, knowing that it was always going to happen. You're holding on to this vision. What were some of the challenges around, yeah, manifesting what you have today?
Oh, I'd say survival. So I was a single mum with two children, and the main thing was to be able to put a roof over our heads, to be able to have a whare for my whānau, and to be able to bring in enough income. So I've been in business a long time. My eldest is 25, so probably 26 years as a sole trader. And so really it was just like getting things, just being able to survive really. I'll be honest, yeah. Wasn't able to get into Thrive until they got a bit older. Yeah, so just working for myself. I was massaging as a massage therapist, so it's a hard way to make money,
Mhm,
let alone support two kids.
mhm,
But in that lesson too, it creates resilience and it demonstrates kind of all of the values that you carry, that you're true to your kaupapa, that you excel at what you do, that, you have to keep working hard because actually the most important thing was to provide a home for my daughters when they were young. Yeah.
Yes, yes, beautiful. And as you've gone through that 25 years to get to where you are, what was your state of mind? Like today I meet you, or in the last few years I've met you, and you've got a very strong sense of purpose. Yeah, you've got a strong vision. You're tūturu to your whenua and your whakapapa and your whānau. What's shifted over those years?
Well, I lived in Waitara, which is a very small Māori town, and I was a statistic. I was solo mother, Māori mother, and I actually was really driven to never ever um, be considered a statistic. I wanted to prove that actually just because I'm a solo mom and Māori, I can be anything I wanted to be.
Mm,
Yeah, and so I did a lot of work with Tony Robbins after my first breakup with the kids' dads. And so I dived deep into kind of a real sense of who am I? Who
mm,
who is Pounamu? What is she about? What is she not about?
Mm,
And so for me, parenting was like, I wanted to be the best parent I could possibly be. And my children would still get the opportunities to dream because that's what I was going to show them. Yeah.
mm. Tāhua e hoa.
Mm.
And so you have proven that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to that word dream and dreaming. What's important about dreaming to you?
Well, you can do ordinary, but you can also do extraordinary. And I don't think we even know what we're made of until we stretch, until we try things that are hard, until we try things that scare us, until we try things that stretch us, is kind of what I always come back to. Like what is possible? Why would I want to live with just average or, a certain income where actually I don't even know what the possibility of threshold of that income might be.
Mm,
Yeah. So that's kind of how my brain works. It's like, okay, we've done that. Now what else is there?
mm,
And it's not because I want to be the best. It's not that. It's not the ego. It's just about expansion
mm,
because you want to be, well, I want to be, maybe a beacon for someone else that was in my situation 25 years ago. Pounamu did it. Why can't I do that? Absolutely.
yeah,
Come and have
beautiful.
some coaching and we'll help you work through that.
Oh, beautiful segue. Beautiful segue. And what is coaching and how has that supported you and where you are today?
Always, always has supported me for like good old 22 years now. When things aren't going so well, mainly for me, it's been relationship breakups, then I always go back to personal development and coaching.
Mm,
And it just helps me get back above the line again of what you're about, what you believe in, who you are, that you're enough, you are loved, all of those whakaaro so that you can step forward, by yourself. Yeah.
with your daughters.
With my kids doing what they want to do,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how has everything that you've done impacted your daughters and your whānau?
Well, I've traveled because we've always traveled. We've been to all over the place because, they've got an adventurous mum. They grew up knowing that they can do anything. I used to
Mm,
get them on the mini tramp and do lymphatic jumps and then do mantras about, especially before a school speech or something. So I remember doing that stuff with my kids, like kind of indoctrinating them in whakaaro pai and whakaaro nui. So yeah, putting it into their bodies. They can do this. They can do this.
mm,
Um, they've done really well. One's about to start her PhD, looking at hauora and climate and kind of papakainga living. And
mm,
the other one's working for Ngāi Tahu and, yeah, doing the kaumātua's PowerPoints at the age of 21, and they're independent.
mm.
Yeah.
Atahu, atahua. And so so share with us what you do, all the things that you do, so people understand what
No.
Pounamu does now, today.
Yeah. Well, I'm a daughter to two kaumātua. My mum and dad are 83 this year. We live on 5 acres in North Taranaki. Believe me when I say this, this is a dream, that has come true. Um, so that's my first role is to keep eyeballs on them, yeah, look after them, even though they're fairly independent. Just being a daughter in that space.
Mm,
The other thing I do is I run Marakai programs for 3 iwi in Taranaki. So usually from Puanga spring to Nahuru in autumn, I teach mainly about 50 whānau how to grow kai. So that we come back to that thing of motuhake, they can grow their own kai and then they can feed their own whānau. So that's that program. In winter, I then do another short program, which is about sustainability, how to feed yourselves every single month of the year. So that goes into food forests and a little bit deeper into um, growing more food, taking out the lawns, putting in kai gardens and forests. Yeah, just extends the thinking. So those are the main things. I run a rongoa clinic as well here on the Whenua. Yeah, so that's been bringing wellness into our whānau Māori. Yeah, that's been a couple of days a week. Yeah, I think that's about it at the moment. Oh no, I do look after a charitable trust as well. Yeah, Te Rongo, the same name as our whenua. So we have a charitable trust that does um, some education and helps, it brings people here to this whenua so
Mm.
that they can experience rongo in a different sense. So that might just be walking around the whenua, patting the sheep, eating something from the mara. Yeah, so often workplaces will come in and do a session with me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, and how does coaching fit into all of that?
Oh, well, I've always wanted to be a coach. Been a long time coming. I feel like I put fully my own kiti on hold while I was raising children. So this has been like a good 22-year desire to actually be a qualified coach to get how does it fit in? Well, part of the rongoa mahi means I can coach, not just body work, means whakawhiti kōrero or coaching. So
Mm.
I've been coaching regularly, mainly with wahine Māori as my clientele, wahine that are wanting to move into their own business or into a something new. So I feel like people are confident with me about helping them move into the new thing.
Mm. Mm. And so wahine mā who are listening in, save your questions. You're going to come back in and you'll be able to ask Pounamu some specific questions. So hold on to those questions. And as you think about whakapapa, whenua and wahine, what else would you like to share about that, Pounamu?
Oh, I love our wahine. Part of my ethos is to give voice to our wahine. So I mentor wahine so they can come in close. I can pass some skills on because some of my problem is I stay too small, like you try and do everything. And I've been a slow uptake of like bringing other people on. So that's this next 12 months is really try and bring other people on. So therefore, bringing in some about 3 wahine in close. So teaching them what I do so they can do that. Because actually I want to move on to another space, but I don't, I've built so much around the Mara Kai space that I don't want to leave it just not to keep growing.
Mm.
So I'm trying to move out of that but I need to train some people to move into my space.
Yeah, wonderful. Yes, and if we listen to Pounamu and her kōrero, and I love that you've been so open and honest for us today about staying small. And so what does that look like for Pounamu? It looks like bringing other people on board so that she can maintain what is already there, but
Yes.
knowing that, if you want to, and we had this conversation yesterday, Pounamu and I, is that whatever we build, yeah, whatever it is, whether it's in Mara, whether it's in coaching, whether it's in body work and midi and retreats, whatever it is for you, yeah, if we can dream more,
Mm,
if we can make the kaupapa bigger than us, yeah,
mm,
yeah, that's what we've been discussing, Pounamu, and then it is a kaupapa that can grow because it needs to exist beyond us.
aye.
Yeah, yeah, and so Pounamu's about to go through that in the next 12 months. Yeah, I've been through it. Yeah, I've played small, and that was great for then, but then it wasn't going to be the kaupapa that I truly believe that I'm here to do. And then came Rise, and then came iwi. Yeah,
Mm,
and it's growing again. So we're going to talk to that as well, Pounamu.
yeah.
So what is next for you? If you think about the next 12 months, what are the specific things that you need to do?
Well, I always are aware of when you need to get out of the way.
Ka pai koe.
Ai, te hao te rangatahi, you know? So that's one thing. Um, I really are drawn into the rongoa space and creating a beautiful course which has coaching, rongoa, healing, self-reflection, natural elements to it. Because we've set up an apothecary here. Oh, I love that word, apothecary.
What
Oh,
is that word?
well, it's like a herbal medicine space. Yeah. And actually, every time I go in there, it's like a child in a lolly shop, get really excited. And so it's coming back to another part of my essence, and that's kind of bubbling, you know? And if
Mm,
it's bubbling, I think you should pursue it because that's where your mode is or where your waiter is kind of happiest. Yeah. So what that means is I grow herbal medicine, I dry it, I manufacture it, and then I create products with it. And in it, I'm going to do some coaching and um, sort of weaving all of that together.
mm,
So we invite people into the space where they can start to feel then, like unwrap them, unveil themselves from all the attachments and come back to that natural wahine that they are.
mm.
Yeah. So I don't, well, there we go. That's the first time I've said that out loud.
Haumi hui e tai here. It is done. It is done.
So the
Beautiful.
next few weeks, because this is my wātea time, this is time of Puanga, when it's super important to have wātea, have space and time to go into those wānanga with yourself. What does it look like? At the moment it's still here. It hasn't quite landed in the body yet. But I need to get the pens out and just get creative and start to create the next course, which will be around rongoa of the wahines. And what does it look like, What does it feel like? What does it taste like?
Ah, who trained? Where did those questions come from?
Oh, no, that's just I don't know.
Beautiful. They sound very coaching questions, which is
Oh,
awesome.
okay. Well, we're kinesthetic, right? Like
Yeah,
it's got to be like manifested. It can't just stay up here. Yeah.
beautiful. And so all of that's going to happen. What does your diary look like in the next month, Pounamu?
No, free. It's free. What? Yeah, honestly, I wake up and go, oh, no. Google tells me there's nothing on. Woohoo! Nothing till 5. Yeah, I've completely cleared. I've got 3 weeks of cleared space. Ask me June and all the way back to the start of this year, chocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so been waiting for this time. Mm.
So wahine, listen up, listen up. Nothing in the calendar for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Now, some people, that might scare some people, Pounamu, not having anything in the diary for 3 weeks. But actually, what I see is it empowers you.
Well, you always put your dreams to the back because the things that are urgent or other people's agendas come up first, and
Mm.
they want you to do this or do that. And so right now, no, wait, no, sacred space. Well,
Look how excited she is, Wahine Ma.
I just love it. Look at my calendar. Oh, there's nothing there. Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh,
And that's a tapu, that's a sacred space that cannot be interrupted by anyone unless Pounamu invites them in.
yeah. But that does mean there's personal growth work that needs to happen, like this course. I need to kind of get it down on paper and share it with a few people to go, hey, what do you think of this? Um, hmm,
Yeah. And therein lies matariki, māpuanga.
I,
That's what it's there for us to do clearing, whakawātia, yeah, whakawātia, whakanoa, yeah, so that we can get into these beautiful creative spaces that Pounamu has beautifully articulated for all of us. Pounamu, I'd like to bring our wahine back in to ask some questions. I can just feel them wanting to ask questions. Is there anything else that you want to share before everyone comes back?
I just think being able to provide this space for us to talk as wahine is super important. And, I'd love to mimic this and create this for my own network of wahine. Aye. So, tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koe hoa, kei te mihi ki a koe mō tō pūkengatanga, mō tō taonga tuku iho mā tātou. It's been beautiful to listen to you, to watch you as you manifest your dreams that are about to unfold in the space that you've created right here in front of us. So very special, very special. So tēnei te mihi, hold that thought. I'm going to bring everyone, wahine mā, please come back onto camera. We want to see your beautiful faces, and I'm going to come around and ask each one of you, if you have a pātai for Pounamu, and as you've noticed, she's very open to discuss anything. So I'm going to come to you first, Toria.
Kia ora, Pounamu. Thank you so much for sharing. Before I ask a question, I'll just let you know, I loved your kōrero about why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary. And also, it really resonated with me when you spoke about being a statistic, because that's something I would think most of us would have experienced our entire lives. So it was really awesome to hear you talk about that, and especially how you overcame that. And I was just really interested about the Tony Robbins thing. Like, is that because he was who was on the TV at the time? There wasn't really a lot around, say, 25, 26 years ago.
Actually, I got free tickets to his Unleash Your Power. Just happened to be, I was trying to learn real estate at the time. And I got given these gold tickets, which meant you were like 3 seats back from the stage. Must have been worth 1,500 Australian dollars. So I said to my girlfriend, she wasn't in a good state of mind. I said, look, do you want to come with me? I think we should go. And we did. We hardly had any money. We flew to Sydney and we walked across fire. And for some reason, I got chosen to come up and I got to shake the big guy's hand. It was life-changing moments. Like my life just really shifted after that. And I know that sounds a bit corny, but it's like he's so good at what he does. He's a master of NLP. When I watched him magically work with this woman who didn't want to live, and we watched him transform her. I was just like sobbing, with absolute, I guess, aroha for his work. And so I've been a fan ever since. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it happened. I got a free ticket.
Yeah. And Hapai, I'm going to come to Eli. Kia ha tō pātai e hoa?
I don't know if I have a pātai. My comments might turn into a pātai. I'm not sure. I really resonated with the 2 points that Toria just shared as well. Living to prove that I'm not one of those statistics, and yeah, why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? I really like that as well. Another takeaway I got is, you talked about the positive affirmations, and for me, I reframe those as taku and doing them with your tamariki. The fact that you're writing those in your tamariki story, and I think as I go about this mahi of self-discovery and building myself the spaces and life that I want for myself, I don't forget them, but I don't necessarily as actively and intentionally instill the same whakaaro in them. So I really liked that. That's given me some real food for thought about, because I often rely on the role modelingness of mama's doing what is living her dreams and doing what is important and all of that. But the intentionality of actually utilizing some of those skills and opportunities to really instill that whakaaro in love really was really beautiful. Maybe a part I have, maybe even just any further whakaaro that you might have around, you talk about things that are aligned with many of them, the mara kai, the self-sufficiency, the going back to your whenua, the rongoa Māori, the supporting wāhine through different kaupapa and stuff. And at the moment is the juggle, and I feel like things keep trying to silo you back into them, like, oh, you do wāhine stuff, this is where you fit. Oh, you do rongoa stuff, this is where you fit. And trying to just hold strong to the idea that they're all interwoven and I'm a part of all of them and they're a part of me and this hiding that I'm on. And so I wonder maybe if you have any whakaaro or thoughts to share around how you do that, how you hold that steady and how you maybe are so, how you create that for yourself. Yes.
Yeah, great, Pātai. So, I mean, I'm at a different stage. My kids have left home. So, I want to say that first. Means that you've got a heap more time and time for, things that you never, I didn't get time to study while I was parenting. So I've been able to go and learn coaching. I've just done my herbal apprenticeship. It's because I'm not parenting, day to day. How do you, I always have a little check in with myself before I say yes. And so it did mean I'm not involved in my marae and I'm not involved in hapu responsibilities because I chose to be in business and that needed me to be able to keep being in business and not get too distracted off into those two spaces. So, there's pros and cons to that. I haven't been back to learn my reo since, for 25 years, I think it's been. I was a graduate of Raukawa, but actually I really need to go back and do a top up, but I haven't made the space yet because I've been focused on building what felt like was the dream. Yeah. So I'm really curious what might happen next because, we've got the dream. I mean, I've been through 3 relationships in this time, so it has not been easy. There's been some mighty hardship amongst in the 25 years. And how do I keep the juggle? Oh, mate, the diary's chocker. But what saves me is that little bit of light that July's coming and I'm going to have a break. Like I've been like struggling to get to July because I've been so tired with the juggle. I really hate the juggle, I'll be honest. And, maybe as a collective, we could come up with better strategies. And I think the truth is I actually need someone to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. To take up the things that I don't really need to do anymore.
Tautoko.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful Pātai. Eli, I'm going to come to you, Timmy.
Kia ora, Pounamu. That was just beautiful, honestly. So much. I think that whole thing of what you were talking around, the transition from surviving to thriving, really resonated. And, you say that it's with your children transitioning into adulthood. But was there a pinnacle point for you where you kind of went, actually, no, I am now going to go from surviving to thriving? Was there any specific turning point there for you?
Yeah, Kilda. I made my goal for financial income bigger. I remember doing that purposefully, going, actually, I want to earn more money. And I wrote it down and I had to say it a few times to go, gosh, because all of those things come up about worthlessness. And I worked, I just got used to saying, this is what I'm going to charge now. And that made a huge difference, charging out at a higher rate, because actually that means you have to work less hours, but you still get paid the same amount, if not more. So that was really pinnacle, I think, in shifting me out of, just surviving, just getting enough, and like getting a bit more so we could travel a bit further afield. And I wasn't a big spender actually either, pretty thrifty. But I always made sure we had adventure, because that's what I thought would bring joy if I was as a parent. So the money went into kind of adventures. But definitely charging yourself for a higher rate, that did make a difference.
And did you just naturally just go, oh, well, I'm just going to charge higher? Or was there a mental shift that you had to do to make that transition, to do that potama, to come up?
There was a song I used to sing. Oh, what was it? Something about money, manifesting money. I don't know. I used to sing it in the kitchen in the morning, and it really helped me shift my mind into a healthier state around my relationship with money. So it was probably a free little download that I did. I used to always do this stuff at night in my bedroom, personal development, and I'd look at my life wheel where I wasn't going so well, and money was one of those things, income, putia. And so I'd find a course to help me stretch in that area, and I'd sing the song because that kind of resonated, how to shift my mind into being more abundant.
Amazing.
And just one other point, how you both, Eli and Pranam, were saying about the juggle and how we hate it, and I hate it as well. But I think it's that thing of when we realize that we're juggling a lot of balls, and you're doing exactly what you need to do, Pounamu, is to give one of those balls to someone else. Aye, fine. We think, and is there one that you can put down so that you're just holding one? And that's something. Last year, the kind of the call for Matariki was from Rich was that radical responsibility. And I've held that the whole year. Like, how can I be radically responsible for what I'm doing? And I see responsible as response-able.
Mm.
And I love hearing that, Pounamu, that is what you're doing constantly. So, kia ora.
Right, to me. I'm glad to hear that you held that and you hold that, because it's been a year. So awesome. Radical responsibility, wahine mā. It's what we have to do. Yeah, it's not ordinary, it's extraordinary, and it needs extraordinary behaviours from us. Yeah, which often might feel to other people radical. Yeah, because you're not going to do that anymore. Yeah, and they're used to hearing you going, oh, yes, I'll do that. And then you're all of a sudden, it's like, well, no. Others will see that as radical, but it's us making ourselves responsible and able to do the things that we actually need to do. So kia ora to me. Kim, coming to you. Kia tō pātai.
Tēnā koe, Pounamu and Rachel. There was so much there, Pounamu, that really resonated. What I am reflecting on is your moemoeā, your dream, your lived experience. You're blending two worlds, your hauora world, but then you've been able to use that to secure your whenua. And that's really what I want to speak to. And it actually goes a little bit back to what Timmy was sharing. And actually, everyone, it all resonates. But I really wanted to speak about Pakahi business. You also mentioned that you did real estate. So I'm in that world where I've got 1 foot in hauora, where I have a Pakahi hauora, kaupapa, and I also am 1 year into my real estate's license. The reason that I've blended those two kaupapa together is to use the dream for our hapu to develop 26 acres of hapu whenua here in Waikanai. And so I'm one of many moving parts in this kaupapa. But really what I want to speak to you about is a little bit about the relationships and being able to pass over some of those responsibilities to those that may be more savvy in the financial procurement space in order to move mountains and to secure your 5 acres of your beautiful papakainga that you have there with your parents, and really speak to financial literacy and being able for all of us to be abundant financially. So I really want to specifically hone in on the financial aspect, because we understand that health, hauora, wellbeing, modi order is actually, when we come down to it, it's signing that contract and it's being able to procure the funds and the money, the abundance of that money. It's modi, we know it's energy.
Yeah.
And this is a space that I'm just so passionate about, but also it's a space where we're talking about millions of dollars, millions and millions and millions of dollars. How do you navigate the two spaces? Because it's almost like, you know, we live 1 foot in one world and 1 foot in the other world. But we know that the kaupapa is driven for something beyond the physical.
Yeah.
It is beyond the materialistic gain. It's your moia, our vision to get everyone back on the whenua, our vision to pay for our daughters to go and have their university fees paid for their PhD, not to be in debt. So how were you able to secure your whenua? That's the first thing. You mentioned your parents. How are you able to leverage experience in the financial space for your pakehi, your business, funding models? Because there's so much out there, but also at the same time, it's not easy to navigate those spaces. It's not easy to procure the loans and the funding to support the growth of our pakehi, let alone papakainga. There's so many hurdles in that. So I really would love to speak to you about that space. Ngā mihi.
Kia ora. So I owned a leasehold property in Waitara. So I bought it for $55,000 kind of when my daughter was maybe 1 or 2. So I was like very lucky, right? Well, the market was low, was affordable. That property grew to, I don't know, maybe 290 or something over this period of time, 20 years. And I was stuck because the market had shifted so much that I couldn't sell and then have enough to get into another property. So I was kind of going to be stuck there. That horrified me. It just not paralyzed me. It just horrified me that I'd have to live out my days in this leasehold property. So a lot of, that was a mistake not buying a freehold in the beginning. But I remember going, okay, the repayments were $130 or something. I can afford that as a single mum, right? I'll be fine. At least my kids will have a roof over their head. So it was a starting point. When mum and dad came back and said they were coming home, we did 6 months of looking for property, thinking they're going to go into a small retirement house, which is what most 80-year-olds kind of tend to go towards. And for some reason, I'm sure there was some wairua help here, they went, no, that's not what we want. When I was massaging my mum, she said to me, I don't want to be a hoha, these are my words, and I just want to die. That just broke my heart. And so out of my heart came, why don't we join together and find something together? And that's what we did. Lo and behold, we ended up with this big place, which then also landed was like, oh, this is the dream. And I shared the dream with them. And so we combined our asset, our money. And, there's not a day goes by I don't go, gosh, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Because actually what's happened now is the land starts to rule the roost. You start to become more of the land and what's important to the whenua, not what's Pounamu want. it's been really amazing to sort of sense that. And what I mean by that is now we've put in a ngāhere, I put in 1,400 trees to grow a forest. And it's like now the whenua is talking because the Māoris are back on the whenua. And everything can grow out of that. Just a little bit about how do we support the Pākehī. We set up a charitable trust. My sister, I'm blessed, she's the governance queen, you know, long-term experience. So she looks after the charity. My daughter's getting trained up within there, so she learns how to do governance. I'm not in there. I'm the gopher, the do everything. But it's able to support us with philanthropic money for education for Māori communities. So we're able to pull in some money so that we can develop and serve our communities, which has been super helpful. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Really?
it's just Pākehā tools, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used in a whakaaro Māori, kaupapa Māori way.
Our first year here, we had 400 Māori whānau come through. Oh, there was 12 Pacifica, 16 international whānau, Indigenous whānau, but mainly Māori whānau came through this property to experience something, one of the offerings that we had. Yeah. So it's been mind-blowing. I would have never seen, I never saw that bit. I just followed the bigger vision, which was to provide a space, you know, of healing, for our whānau. I'm moving into opening up to non-Māori this year. Woo! So that'll be interesting. I can do it.
We can.
I can do it. Yeah.
Well, wahine mā, we are coming to starting to wrap up so that we can all go and have a wonderful evening. A couple of things that I'm taking away that I'd like to share for everyone, because we're going to share this on our page as well so others can watch it, is that never stop dreaming, even and especially when things get tough. Yeah, and that's what I've learned from Pounamu in this session is that, and often, you know, when we're in the coaching spaces, and pretty much all of us are, we hear that from some of our clients, our wahine, that, you know, and the dreams have got smaller and smaller and smaller, and potentially that's why they've turned up in our healing spaces and our coaching spaces. And so one of our roles is to be the tauira, be the example of that, of dreaming bigger, and never stop dreaming. The other thing is that I have said for a long time, because I've been there as well, is we need to learn to let go of the things. And so every time I feel like things are getting, what's the word? Not hard, but there's things that I want to do, but I can't do it because there's not enough people. That isn't a bad thing, it's growth. And we need to refrain from, there's so much, I can't do it all. Well, actually, if we think about it differently, which is what Pounamu shared with us today, is we have to reframe that to, okay, which bulls do I have to let go of now? And how am I going to do that? The third thing is around structuring our Pākehī, our businesses, in the right way. And so I come to you, Kim, with the financial literacy, the structure, the organizational structures. Is it a charitable trust that we need in there, and a limited liability? And, you know, we've got to think about those things. And often we don't have those specific skills. Some of you might, but I've always, like Pounamu is talking about, she's got a sister in that space because that's her pukinga. That's what she's good at. And then so everyone thinking about, you know, does this structure that I've built for my business, because I'm dreaming bigger, is it future-proof? Is it big enough, the structure that I've built, to accommodate the dreams that I have and where I'm going? And then the last thing I really want to pick up on is, developing our whānau, and we heard Pounamu is developing her daughters in that governance space so that they can go off and do what they need to do and dream bigger. Always making sure that our kaupapa, which I've heard from all of you, is bigger, and that we're bringing others, you know, our whānau, our hapu, our iwi, and when we hear Pounamu talking about in her first year, 400 whānau came through, I mean, that's what dreams are all about. Yeah. And so that's where I'd like to start to wrap up. So I'm just going to come to each one of you and a word, that you want to leave with tonight, and then I'm going to finish with Pounamu. So Timmy, what's your word that you're leaving with tonight that's going to serve and support you?
I think it's going to have to be the same as last year. It's that radical responsibility. You know, I think that just sums up exactly what you've kind of embodied. But yeah, so that's for me. Kia ora.
Tēnā koe. Eli?
I am also taking away those words and response able, and I'm going to do some more learning around that. Tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koe. Kim?
Well, whakapono, optimism, hope, excitement. I loved your giggle, Pounamu, and the excitement. So energy, modi, yeah.
Yeah.
Kia ora, Kim. Toria?
I don't have this one, but extraordinary, radical responsibility, and apothecary. I'm in.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Toria. And ending with you, Ehua, before I close with karakia.
I dive into the deep, dark nights of Puanga, and that's where you'll find your moemoea.
Oh, what a beautiful way to end. Yeah, deep dives, ruku here, i te pō o Puanga. Tēnā koe Pounamu, tēnā koutou wahine mā, manawatia matariki mā Puanga, haere tonu ki tō whainga, ki tō wawata, ki tō moemoea o te ao. Nō reira, māku he whakakapi tō tātou wānanga, me enoi tātou. Unuhia ki te uritapu nui, kia wātea, kia māma, te ngākau, te wairua, i te arataka tū, hoia rā e rongo whakairia ake ki runga, kua wātea, kia wātea, kia wātea. Ai rā, kua wātea. Hau, pai mari. Ka kite.